Welcome to a special edition of Gospel Truth with Andrew Wommack.
In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions.
In remembrance of the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision, all this week, Andrew interviews Janet Porter, architect of the pro-life heartbeat bill and a courageous political ally in the fight for life.
We actually have the ability to dream with God. I believe that this is our opportunity to dream with God and to do what they say can't be done.
And now, here's Andrew.
Welcome to a very special edition of our Gospel Truth broadcast. This week we've got on my program Janet Porter, and this woman has been a force of God in the political realm trying to end abortion. And I believe that we are going to see abortion ended in our lifetime. And a lot of it is due to this woman, Janet Porter. I'm going to be interviewing her, and I tell you, she's stronger than an acre of garlic. You will really enjoy this. And so we're going to be continuing our interview with her. I encourage you to watch this. At the end of the program, we'll be giving you information about how you can get our product on Choose Life, which will include my interview with Janet, but also how you can get her product, her books, and go to her website. So watch this, and I'll be back at the end of the program. So you succeeded there in Ohio. How did you get into going to the U.S. Congress?
I like I said, I met with went to the Republican convention. It was held in Cleveland.
Met Tom DeLay and got him involved?
No, Tom came a little bit later, but I ran into Congressman Steve King at the Republican convention on the floor. Okay, here on the floor of the convention. I know God orders our steps. So what do? You don't say, "Isn't it great?" And Trump's winning. I said, "Listen, we got a federal heartbeat bill. We think we're looking for sponsors." And he, by the time I met him, by the time we had the memorial service for Phyllis Schlafly, which I think she'd be very honored to know that was birthed at her memorial service, and he agreed to be the sponsor. He's a champion who was railroaded and misquoted and attacked viciously and inappropriately. But he became our sponsor. And then when we had a handful of co-sponsors and we had our press conference and, there were, a dozen or so that stood with us. And that's when I prayed and God gave me the idea, Tom DeLay. And then Tom comes and I'm telling you what, the doors are open. We don't even have to stand in the long lines to get through the security. He waves his badge. Every police officer loves him. We go through the security. Tommy, they love him. We need you here to run things. And so he calls me up. I said, let's get in to see whoever we can see in the White House. Can you get us the vice president? And he tried. He says, all I could get was the policy guy. Is that okay? And I said, yeah. Let's meet with him. It turns out he's one of us. And I present this letter of all of our people. And I realize, oh my goodness, the guy's charismatic. He recognizes Cindy Jacobs' name, Bill Johnson, these others, he recognizes names. And I'm like, he's one of us. And so we pitched the idea and he loves it. And the meeting's over and he says, well, which way would you like to leave? I said, we're at the White House. I said, how about the scenic route? And so we go down the stairs and there's Ivanka and who do we run into but the Vice President, Mike Pence. And he comes briskly walking over and he goes, Tommy, and they hug each other. See, Tom DeLay used to be Mike Pence's boss when he was the majority leader when he was in Congress. And so he stood with us for half an hour. We took pictures. I showed him the letter. He says, I love the heartbeat bill. And he promised that he would put it on the president's desk. And I know he kept that promise. And the president's behind the heartbeat bill. We just need to break through the establishment. A lot of people who claim to be pro-life, that are regulating abortion, we have actually a means to end it. This is the way that we can close them down. And I'll tell you what, when we would bring in the hearings, the pro-aborts would come in and they'd testify. The same people who said that there's no heartbeat, abortion doesn't stop a beating heart, they came and testified that heartbeat happened so early that this will outlaw abortion. And I just sat there saying, that's the thing. The abortion mills are motivated by money. And they're probably not going to be able to stay open for a fraction of their business. They're not going to be able to make the money they're making now. And so, we may be closing them down, even if this is all we pass. And as technology gets better and better, we're going to hear that heartbeat sooner and sooner. And it begins to be 18 days before the woman knows she's pregnant.
And
right
so
now,
how many heartbeat bills have been passed now?
10.
And they're all working their way towards the Supreme Court?
They are on their way through the court system. People get discouraged. Oh, this court struck it down, that court struck. No, that's the process. It's like a bow. The arrow, you have to get pulled back sometimes before you're released. And that's what's happening. And it is destined for the heart of Roe versus Wade. And the Supreme Court is ready now. And we have the votes now.
How long do you think before it gets there?
Soon. I think soon.
All right. Soon is what? Months or years?
I think within a couple of years, we'll see this come before the court, and I believe we'll see a ruling.
And man, with the justices that President Trump has put in, this could end Roe versus Wade. So I've heard some people say that it wouldn't actually overturn Roe versus Wade. What they do is kick it back to each state that they could make their own deal. How does that work?
Well, I've heard that, and I understand the logic of that, but that's not how I'm praying. I'm thinking, no, if the Supreme Court can overrule the whole thing, can strike down all 50 state laws protecting children in one fell swoop, why can we not say the 14th Amendment, that this science applies to, even the author Harry Blackman himself said, if you have science, this whole case falls apart. It's falling apart. And so I'm asking God for the whole thing. Amen. But if he goes state by state, we'll go state by state, and we'll do it, and we'll get it done, and we're going to see the end of abortion. Babies will live and not die, and declare the works of the Lord. Okay, so could you address, I know there's some people watching this, but what about all of the things that Planned Parenthood does for women? Could you address that? Oh my. Well, I guess it's best addressed when our brilliant President Trump, when Congress, the rhinos in Congress, even though we had the Republican House, the Republican Senate, we had the court, being stacked in our favor, we had the president, they would not even end abortion, not only end abortion, but end the funding to Planned Parenthood. So what does the president do? He changes the rules in the Title X funds and says, hey, if you want to get our government money, you got to separate the killing that you do from the legitimate medical services. So there was $60 million at stake, and Planned Parenthood, because the so-called legitimate medical services, they're just a smokescreen for what they really do, killing children. They wouldn't even separate it. They turned down $60 million instead and said, we're not going to take the money. Because they know that they don't really have legitimate health care. They claim they do mammograms. Guess what? They don't. All of these things, they are in the business to kill children. In fact, I did a whole chapter about the founder of Planned Parenthood. In fact, it's behind the mask of greed and racism. Let me read you what the founder of Planned Parenthood said. It's interesting that anybody who dares speak out for life, you're automatically called a racist, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the real racist is the founder of Planned Parenthood, the abortion movement. Here's what she said. We don't want the word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. This is in a letter penned by Margaret Sanger that says we want to exterminate the Negro population. If she's not a racist, there is no racist. And they put, I forget the percentage, but the vast majority of Planned Parenthoods are in the black community. They put them in there. The far majority, more than 80%, are in there. And I'll tell you how successful they've been. Catherine Davis put it this way. She came and testified for our bill, African American leader, and she said that we have killed the equivalent of every man, every black man, woman, and child alive during 1960. We've wiped out the entire population that was alive during 1960. 20 million African Americans have been killed. If Black Lives Matter, then they need to quit being the hypocrites and say this is where the killing's being done. It is the lethal form of racism, and we need to stand up against it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's more black children aborted in New York each year than are born. That's right. That's terrible. It is. And where's the outrage? And what's the percentage? It's something like 15% of the population is black, and yet like 30-something% of all abortions. Yeah, it's a absolutely systematic program to kill the minority populations. They saw them as unfit. This is Hitler stuff. This is the eugenics that were used. Well, Margaret Sanger actually admired Hitler and all of those people. I wrote about it. She used some of the Nazi writings to legitimize her deal. This is it's more how shall I say it? It's more evil than people can imagine. And if I'm not mistaken, again, I'm sure you're more versed in this than I am, but she's the one, I think, that said that the blacks were like human weeds that needed to be pulled out of the garden and stuff. She hated blacks. And yet, it's funny, they're tearing down statues of our leaders that weren't perfect, and yet there's a statue to Margaret Sanger. Are you kidding me? That's the first one that needs to be yanked down. I tell you, it's a tragedy what's happened. So I also have heard that Planned Parenthood, they claim that they do all these services for women, but if I'm not mistaken, again, you're much more knowledgeable than I am, but there's like 600 and something Planned Parenthoods, and there's literally thousands of the pregnancy centers that provide all of these services and stuff. So women would not miss out on any
of the positive services.
No,
that
in
they
fact,
have.
if I got in Congress, I'd introduce a bill that we fund adoption and not abortion. But when we're looking at the pregnancy centers, I remember I was on a show, it was a national show. I won't tell you because it was very, very liberal. And this woman got in the audience and she said, "You're talking about the pregnancy centers. They're trying to trick women in to have their babies." I said, look, here's an easy way to tell. If you're not sure, if you're looking in the phone, back when we had a phone book, you're not sure whether you're looking at an abortion facility or whether you're looking at a pregnancy help center, here's a way to tell. If you see any reference to Visa or MasterCard, or if money changes hands, that's abortion. Our services are free. And that speaks to who it is that really cares about women. We're giving them a choice that both they and their children can live with.
I've started 4 pregnancy centers here in this area, and we actually saw the abortion rate in El Paso County, the largest county down there in Colorado Springs, cut in half, and the state down 1/3. And these pregnancy centers are doing a great job.
Wow, that's so great. That is so
awesome.
great. Thank you for doing that.
So what's the future here? How are we progressing? What's happening right now?
We're going to end abortion. That's what's happening right now. And we have the means to do it. This is a handbook on how. And again, if a purple state of Ohio can pass a heartbeat bill, I go to Texas. I say, look, we're in Texas. Ruby red tech, come on. If Ohio can pass a heartbeat bill, Texas can. I go to North Carolina. Surely if Ohio can do it, then North Carolina can do it. And they look and they say, all the reasons that they can't be done. I've encountered, I think, virtually every reason that it can't be done. And we overcame it. We just kept pounding.
So what's the situation with Texas? They actually defunded abortion or something. They voted against it. What happened?
They've been passing a lot of those great, ambulatory services that you got to have, they've done a lot of good things. But there's a guy by the name of Briscoe Cain. He is the sponsor in Texas. Tom DeLay, who lives in Texas, helped him out as well. But they were fighting the same thing we were fighting. They're fighting the establishment, the right to life establishment that says, we're the pro-life leaders here, and you do what we recommend, and then they tell the public they're for it, and then they work behind the scenes against it. If you have a group that claims to be neutral, what that means is we're opposed behind your back. If you are a pro-life movement, I remember meeting with Michigan Right to Life, the president of Michigan Right to Life, and I said, they used to bring me in to speak at all their events, and I said, look, I've read your missions. I met with National Right to Life. I said, I've read your mission statement. You guys want to end abortion. This is a way to do it. Where are you in this battle? And they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't budge. In fact, I'll tell you, when it was 2018, we had the House, the Senate, the White House, we had the court, and we pitched the idea and we said, look, we have the means to do this right now. The window of opportunity is open. It may not be open for long. And we pitched this idea, and we had more co-sponsors on the federal heartbeat bill, 174 co-sponsors. We had more co-sponsors on the federal heartbeat bill than any other pro-life bill, and they refused to pass it. And the reason they gave, Paul Ryan gave the reason. He says, well, Right to Life doesn't like it. We're not getting a lot of support from the establishment groups in Washington that you've been sending checks to all these years. They're the ones standing in the way of ending abortion, and it is tragic. And if you don't believe me, every single thing is documented, it's footnoted, I've lived it, and it's a sad, sad state.
So they've actually tried to get this vote in front of the House multiple times about a child born alive through an abortion. What do they call it? The abortion?
Borderline Infant Protection Act. But you want to know something?
They won't even vote on that.
That's the Senate, yeah. And they've got this 60-vote closure rule, right, that says, oh, we won't do anything because it's going to take 60 votes. Well, I hope they get 60 votes, but I think this. They need to start breaking the rules to get things done, because that's a self-made rule. They can make whatever rule they want. In fact, they change it at will. When they want to get a judge through, they change it. When they want to get appointments made, they change it. You only need 50. You only need 51 instead of 60. This needs to be done. And honestly, I'll just tell you this. I believe that why there's such strong support behind the president is that he's the guy that's going to get it done. He's an anti-establishment man who I trust is going to bring this to an end.
Well, they've also tried to bring, is it that same bill to a vote in the House, and Pelosi won't allow it?
Well, now Pelosi won't allow anything. We can't.
But I mean, haven't they tried to get that Born Alive Survivors Act?
Yeah, oh yeah, they won't even do that. Yeah.
They won't even bring it to a vote.
No.
That's a shame.
And the masks are off. I mean, here's the thing where I believe that the enemy has overplayed his hand. They are now embracing killing children until birth, and even beyond, as we saw with the governor of Virginia. But we are the American people, that doesn't sit well with them. Like, how in the world can you say we're going to kill an infant? What in the world? I think it's going to backfire. The enemy has overplayed his hand, and we're going to see the American people rise up. And what I want to tell those that are watching, those that are listening, is this. Look, if he can use the shy kid who's afraid to give a speech, he can use you. Because it's not about us. It's about him. It's about our God. It's about his ability. And it's about our faith in him. He works through faith. Faith is the pipeline for God's power. And, when you have fear, it's when you have a great big devil and a little bitty God. And so what is it that you believe? Show me what you do, and I'll tell you what you believe. If you say you believe the Bible, well I want to see your life. What impossibility
So you got a film, you've written multiple books. Do you have a website with all these things available?
Yeah, you can go to faith2action.org, faith2action. The shortcut is f2a.org. We also have Light Winds. You can get it all on Faith 2 Action right now. But yeah, the best is, we actually have the ability to dream with God. I don't believe God's dream and his plan for America is over right now. I believe that this is our opportunity to dream with God and to do what they say can't be done. And if you want a place to start, I used to say, God, I want to see as much as the enemy's done. That's a poor way to pray. Then I thought, well, I'll be really faith-filled. Let's play double what the enemy. Now, what I pray is sevenfold what the enemy's done. Because if the you read in the Bible, you either pay back double, you pay back sevenfold. If you're caught, well, I want sevenfold. What the internet monopoly, the big tech bullies of Google, of Twitter, of Facebook, of the Harry Potter series, think of what the enemy has done in the government school. I'm asking for sevenfold back. And you know what? Our God is bigger, and he is moved through faith.
Trump, he ran on draining the swamp, and I can't say he's drained it, but I often say he's lowered the water level so much that all the critters are exposed.
They are.
And I think that it has brought out people that now are wanting to kill babies even after birth, and they were saying it was women's right, but it's showing that it has nothing to do. Once that child is outside of the body, it has nothing to do with that woman.
That's right.
And so they have exposed themselves, and hopefully the church is going to respond. But, just a couple of weeks before these programs air, I made some programs about the 2020 elections, and some of the things I was saying is that the church, has been asleep at the helm, and hopefully this is waking us up and stuff. And we have an opportunity here with the Supreme Court and these things that we could literally see abortion ended in our lifetime. And,
no question
and that's
about
awesome.
it. No question about it.
I appreciate what you've been doing, Janet.
Thank
it's
you.
Awesome.
It's exciting. It's exciting to see what God's going to do next, and I see Him moving in America like I haven't before. There's this shift that has happened where people are awaking. They're being awakened to who God is and what He can do through ordinary people. And whatever it is, maybe God put something else on your heart. For me, it's the life issue. It's the freedom issue, the liberty issue. But the reason I wrote this book is whatever issue it is, this is how we can take God at His word and step out and do it, no matter where you. I'll get calls from people. I'm just a housewife. What can I do? Well, you can end abortion. And let me tell you, it doesn't take a majority. It never has. It was David Barton, our mutual friend, who said, you know what, the American Revolution, it seemed like all those patriots back then. He says, no. He says it was supported by 25%. Only a quarter of a population, 7 to 8% of Americans actually participated in the American Revolution. And they weren't very viewed as heroes any more than those heroic people who are fighting on the front lines right now. They were not viewed as the heroes that they are today. But they fought against the most powerful nation on earth. And what they did is what we're doing now. They made an appeal to heaven. Our friend Jason Rapert, at the hearing in Congress, he brought from him a flag we've used many times at our rallies. It's the Appeal to Heaven flag, and it's the evergreen tree that says an appeal to heaven. Because our founders, they were inspired by the writings of John Locke that when you have no other recourse, make an appeal to heaven. And so, as he held this flag, we prayed for several hours outside the hearing room before it began, and we held onto that flag. And we prayed for God to do the impossible. And you know what? That's when it hit me. Oh my goodness. We aren't even supposed to be America, but we made an appeal to heaven. George Washington commissioned this flag to fly over our first Navy ships. That's where we captured the British ships that had our supplies, that had our ammunition. That's how we won the Revolutionary War. We made an appeal to heaven, and God heard us. And so as I'm holding this, I'm like, we shouldn't even be in America, but yet here we are. Trump shouldn't even be president, but yet there he was, elected to the shock and awe of the world. Yeah. And so that's when I knew the God of the impossible is going to do it again.
One of the things I love about you, though, is I'm a minister, but, people are always talking about we need to pray, make an appeal to heaven. I agree, but we have to do more than that. You have to act. And that's the thing I love about you, is that you've done all of these actions. And this is what I think is missing. People are praying and asking God to end abortion, but they wouldn't stand up and defend it. They won't promote all of these things, and we've got to get action, not just prayer.
That's it. You can march, you can talk, you can pray, you can do all these things, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to step out and take the hits, It was Governor Huckabee that says, politics is, you have to like the taste of your own blood. You got to get used to the taste of your own blood. I mean, it's not fun, and there's a lot of things that are very difficult. It's not nice to be slandered everywhere you go, when you can count your friends on one hand, but I can tell you this, it's worth it in the end. I remember there was a time when it was really just down to me and my friend Lori. There were a handful of the outer circle, but we were the ones working around the clock on this. And people say, we don't have the group, we don't have the people. I'm like, I'm going to tell you from experience, you get a friend. That's why Jesus, I think he sent out 2 or more, the disciples. You get somebody that can stand with you, that can be next to you, that can, link shields with you. And then others around. I mean, there were times when we filled the State House. I mean, we broke records. We filled every chair. We've rented every chair and filled it in the middle of the week for a big rally at the State House. People outside, overflowing. There were times when we were the most popular kids in town. And then when it got tough, and when we had to expose those who were blocking us, those that were formerly our friends, then that's when the rubber hits the road. That's when we had to do whatever it takes. And I'm just saying, if you're willing to take God at His word and never give up, you're going to see the victory, period, the end.
Well, I need you around here to help us. We filled out our state capitol with so many people that they couldn't accommodate them. They were all outside and everything, and we went until 1 o'clock in the morning, but they did exactly what they wanted to. They got
You know why?
They got a homosexual governor, a state and Senate and Republican. They're all, congressmen, representatives, what I was thinking of. They're all Democrat, and they just do what they want to,
but you
regardless.
Know what? Because they're the ones doing it. You see, we need to do more than just rally at the State House. We need to run to be members of the State House. We need to run for office, whether we win right away or not. We need to be filing elections and making these people prove what they. I mean, we made them work. I mean, I remember the Senate president said he was working, what did he say, 20-hour days, because I made him work. When there was a debate, I'm going to tell you something. They lost the debate because they're pretending to be conservatives. They're pretending to be, I'm for, getting rid of Common Core. I'm like, really? Because where's the bill? You've had all these years to do it. Where's the bill? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? You say you're for the heartbeat bill. Where's your name on the bill? I don't see it.
They haven't done the heartbeat bill in Colorado, have they?
No. It needs to be.
We need some help. We spent $75,000 this last election cycle on trying to get some people involved in office and stuff, supported them and did things. So we're getting involved in that, but man, I could sure use your input.
We need to bring the sword into the battle. That's one of the things Ken Ham talked about. He goes, If there are 2 knights that are fighting, and if one knight says to the other, before we begin, I want you to throw down your sword. He says, they wouldn't do that. We'd never do that. We need to take God's word. It's the sword. That's the sword. And we go in there. And I'll tell you one story. I went in, they had a bill that would protect babies from conception. And Right to Life opposed it. I went in, just ordinary person, before the heartbeat bill was ever birthed and conceived. I testified for the bill. And this woman on the committee said, this Democrat, where do you come off saying that to be a Christian, you need to be pro-life? She said, the Bible is a book of tolerance and Jesus never used the word abortion. I said, well, if you open up that book, you'll see thou shalt not kill made the top 10 commandments, not suggestions. And what Jesus said is if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. He commanded us in Proverbs 24:11 to rescue those that are being carried away to death. He commanded us in Proverbs 31:8 to be a voice for those appointed to die. We're just being obedient. And we need to take that word of God where we go. We need to take that sword into battle.
But the women's lib would come along and say, but it's not a child.
Yeah, well, then they're the science deniers. Because guess what? There's a heartbeat of a fellow human being. We're not talking, in this case, we're not talking about a glob of tissues or a single cell. We're talking about a fellow human being with a beating heart. And how heartless is it? How cold and heartless is it to turn your back on a fellow human being whose heart is beating like an SOS, crying for help? Well, we're going to heed that call, and it's happening.
Amen. Man, that was powerful today. I tell you, Janet inspires me. This woman is strong. And I believe that she's inspired you. I would like to encourage you to please get this product on Choose Life. Also, you can go to Janet's website. She's written books. She's got plays. She's in the process of producing a sitcom. She's just using everything she can to get the message out. And so listen to our announcer as he gives you some information. You will be blessed.
In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions. The majority in cases from Texas and Georgia said that the decision to end a pregnancy during the first 3 months belongs to the woman and her doctor, not the government.
Before he formed me in my mother's womb, he knew me. Before I was born, he sanctified me. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are the created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That monkeys are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Remember, it's my choice. It's God's choice. It's a baby choice. It's our choice. Not yours. Choose life. Choose life. Choose life!
He's so cute. He's so tiny.
Today, you saw a portion of Andrew's interview with Janet Porter. To find out more about Janet, her ministry, or her new book titled A Heartbeat Away, go to faith2action.org. This week's interview with Janet Porter is available on a special Choose Life USB flash drive. Also included on this flash drive, you'll find many more interviews and testimonies relating to abortion. This Choose Life USB flash drive will be accompanied by the Observing All Things booklet that contains many statistics and scriptures with regard to abortion and other social issues. You can get these valuable resources for a gift of any amount when you contact us. Call our helpline at 719-635-1111. Our helpline is open 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. To write us, use the address on your screen. We appreciate your generosity and hope to hear from you today.
I want to let you know that when you support Andrew Wommack Ministries, that we also support a lot of other ministries. We actually started the Springs Rescue Mission that is now the largest distributor of food and clothing and furniture in all of Colorado Springs. We've got ministries to orphans. We've got ministry to children that have been caught in the sex trade. We support pregnancy centers, have actually lowered the abortion rate in Colorado to one of the lowest in the nation, and there's just a lot of things we do. So when you support here, you are helping us reach people all over the world.
Andrew has many conferences and seminars around the globe each year. For the latest information on Andrew's complete speaking schedule, visit our website at awmi.net/events.
I want to let you know that we have now started a Charis Daily live Bible study. We've been doing a Bible study every Tuesday night live for about 2 years, but now we have 5 days a week. We've varied the times so that we can accommodate anybody's schedule, and it's going to really be good. We're going to use our instructors from the school, and it'll be a blessing. So remember, we now have a Charis Daily live Bible study 5 days a week.